Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another predictions video. Game week 42. Absolutely buzzing for this one. You'll see in a second. Ollie, welcome to the stream, pal. How you doing?
Yeah, not too bad. I'm less buzzing for this one. Form's abandoned me. It's been a disaster of a few weeks, and everybody will understand why Nick's in such a good mood very soon, I'm sure.
Yes, I'm sure. Do you know what? I think they've probably maybe just about worked it out. But I will put everybody out of their misery. Look at that. The first time in 4,000 weeks, I am second and not third. 2 points in front of Ollie, and the crowd goes wild.
Crowd goes mild, more like. That is just... I can't believe I've thrown this away. How far clear was I?
I think at one point you were touching 20, maybe 18.
I know. I was so far away. Absolute shocker. But it's fine. We move. I'll bounce back. It's fine. I just wanted to make it exciting. It's better content in it if I fall apart, drop down a little bit and then have the comeback story to still beat you by the end of the season.
Yeah, I'll be honest. At some points in the last kind of 3 or 4 weeks, I've been thinking, is he doing this on purpose? Is he making terrible decisions on purpose?
Yeah, that's entirely what's happened. Just everybody's aware. I've just not been trying. That's exactly what it is. Just no effort. It's nothing to do with just being rubbish at it. It's entirely deliberate. I promise.
Matt's put shared on S2 forum, and for those that don't know what the S2 forum is, it's a horrible place where people. Oh God, I've just thought he's shared it on. People are going to be clicking on that. Where people have a go at everyone, but everybody loves each other at the same time, I think. I can't work it out, to be honest. It's not really a forum that I've frequented that much, but I appreciate it, Matt. And now I'll probably get absolutely hammered on there, even more than I normally do. James is saying mind the gap. So James is backing the in good Nick. Johnny is in the stream, which is good to see. I don't think Johnny was in the last one, but he was certainly in the Sheffield United Burnley match reaction, and I wonder why.
Yeah, certainly. Johnny is our favourite Burnley fan, and I'm sure he very much enjoyed that one on Monday night. And to be honest, he's going to enjoy this as well. So we've gone through our viewer prediction scores from Monday, and Johnny is top. 9 points, a cracking effort from him. Congratulations to Johnny. He's not the only one. He's joined on 9 points by 3 others. We've got Joachim up there. We've got Dan Yallop up there. And our old favourite Shazbat is also there. So 4-way tie for the lead. Pretty good effort by everybody, though.
Yeah, I don't think we did very well, to be honest. Well, I didn't do well. You did shockingly.
Yeah, I think combined over the Easter weekend, I think I managed 4 points across both game weeks.
Yeah, you've done terribly recently. Terribly. Thank you, James. Really appreciate that. I did do a Sheffield United Burnley match reaction, and James seems to think I know ball. Anyway, Johnny's saying Lego. I think that's like French. Do you think? I think that's what it is. Anyway, so I think what we should probably do is get absolutely on with the video. Matt is saying you're right, Nick. S2 is full of something. I don't know what he's trying to make out, but I'm with him. Let's go, mate. Let's go for what's Ollie doing here? What I give him the buttons and he does this. Did I miss one?
Somebody who was on my side, Finally, I'm getting a little bit of somebody believes in me. And you weren't going to put it up, Nick. You weren't going to respect that comment.
I must have missed it. I do look for my name when I go through the comments. That's probably why I missed it. So let's get straight into it. Sorry about that, Charlie Brown, and sorry about that beastly Ollie. Let's talk about all things Middlesbrough versus Norwich City. That's already a city down. So maybe less battles of the cities, but hopefully we'll get one or two. We've both gone for a very, very similar scoreline. Both think that Middlesbrough are going to take this no problem, but they've fallen off a little bit of a cliff recently, haven't they?
Yeah, their form's just abandoned them just when they didn't need it. Now it's no winning 3. They're now 8 points behind United. They're 3 points behind Luton. It does look as though their chances at that automatic promotion spot have just slipped away. Now, the narrative around Norwich seems to be that they've improved. Some people seem to suggest, they're getting better. They're the most likely team to finish in the playoffs. They've only won 1 in 6. I mean, they beat Blackburn, which is a great result, but it's 1 win in 6. They're only still in the debate for the playoffs because nobody in that space is winning any games at the minute. So I don't think Norwich are going to make the playoffs. I don't think they deserve to make the playoffs. And I think they're going to get a little bit of a beating in this one. I think it'll be a very comfortable 2-0 home win.
Yeah, I'm with you, mate. I'm with you. Kieran thinks it's going to be a draw. Lots of draws in the comments. Wolfgang Bailey gone for a 2-2. There's 1-1s here. There's all sorts. They're mostly either draws or Middlesbrough. However, Lennon has gone for a 1-0 Norwich. And the thing is, years gone by, that was probably expected. And Norwich have still got a fantastic team, so they can turn anybody over at the drop of a hat. But I thought it was going to go better for Wagner, whatever you want to call him.
Yeah, I did. I thought he'd really have an impact there. I thought when he came in, he would be pushing them to the playoffs. And I think at the time he came in, I thought they'd probably be aiming a little bit higher than that as well. I didn't think they'd be looking for 6th. Thought they'd be looking for 2nd, 3rd, 4th. But it's just not worked out at all. I think there's something at the minute in the club that's just not working out. The fans, I don't think, are overly happy with what's going on. I think that constant bouncing between the Championship and the Premiership, we talk about it as if to say, it's a really good idea for building sustainably. It means you're going up, taking your money, coming back down, building again. And while that makes sense, I think as a fan, I think as a club, it can lead you to be really, really rotten. Because if you don't walk the Championship, all that's happened is you've gone up, got battered every week, come down, and you can't even enjoy the wins that you're getting because you're just nowhere near performing where you should be. So that's something I think all teams will probably need to be aware of. If they're going to start doing that yo-yo effect, you've got to get it right in the Championship, because as soon as you don't, then everything does spiral quickly.
Yeah, I think you're right. I've always been one that has welcomed being a yo-yo club, because I do think that when one season you're going to be doing really, really well and enjoying football rather than kind of being mid-table mediocrity. But yeah, Norwich have done it over and over again. This time they haven't. I'll be honest, I thought that they were going to walk this league, but it was not to be. And it's nice to see Norwich not walk the league every single season they're in the Championship. So let's move on to talking about a team that I wish we'd have walked the league. But it's become a bit of squeaky bum time. But I think we should do it. We're in a really good position to do it. I think we're going to win this game. I know. I want it to be more comfortable than what I have down here. And I definitely want it to be more comfortable than what you've got it. But we've both gone for a Blades win.
Yeah, and I think it's a difficult prediction for me, because look, United have been on a good run. Then we play Burnley away. Everybody expects you to lose at Burnley away, but it's frustrating that to an extent we beat ourselves. A really bad defensive mix-up with Wes and Robinson, meaning that we're coming to this game with Adam Davies in net. You don't stand a chance at Burnley anyway. You definitely don't stand a chance with your second choice keeper and down to 10 men. So this is a game that we've got to really use to bounce back. And we've got to hope that we've got that confidence in defence to not make silly mistakes and not give away stupid goals. Cardiff are an interesting team. They had a run of 3 wins in 4 not that long ago, but then seem to have fallen off a cliff. Again, they just can't get any consistency. They're only just outside the relegation zone, and that's only because Reading had points deducted. So they're going to scrap for their lives. I think this is going to be a really entertaining early kickoff. I think United have got to win it, because if we don't win it, it hands momentum to Luton ahead of what they've got, a really difficult game, but they will have so much momentum if United don't win. So by hook or by crook, we've got to get over the line. And I do think we will, but I just don't think it's going to be as comfortable as we would all want it to be.
No, I think you're right. I work with a lot of Leeds United fans for my sins. And one in particular always speaks about the season when we got promoted and they didn't, us playing early or playing at 3 and then them playing the late game was constantly putting them in a bad mindset for the rest of, like, every week. He was saying Leeds were playing after United, Leeds were playing after United, Leeds were playing after United. And I think us going up against Cardiff, a team that on paper we should be, we are second in division after all. It's not going to be as easy as what anybody thinks. But at the same time, if we can pick up those 3 points early on, cement is it 8-point
It'd be
lead
back to 8, if we can get
before
ahead. And that'd
Luton
be a
play.
level on games as well before they play.
But then they'll play, and then it's going to be a tough game for them. And hopefully, if they don't pick up 3 points, then we're more points in front of them. Let's move on to talking about Blackpool. I'm going to say Rovers. That's weird. That's Bristol Rovers. Blackpool Football Club against Wigan Athletics. I know. I'm tired. I've been working all day.
I think you were more confused about Blackburn Rovers, to be honest. I would have given you that.
Blackburn
I don't know
Rovers,
why you went to Bristol Rovers as the team that you thought, that must be who I was thinking of.
Yeah, no, it was.
This is a horrible game where, actually, to be honest, I've picked somebody to win, but I think both teams probably will end up deserving to lose. It's 1 winning in 11 for Wigan, 1 winning 9 for Blackpool. I mean, at least Wigan have got some draws, where Blackpool just seem to lose every week. They've conceded 3 goals minimum in their last 4 games, but let's just say they've sacked the manager. They might have a little bit of a reaction. The fans might be a bit more positive without McCarthy there. They've still got some good players. Josh Bowler can still have an impact and get them some goals. So let's say that whoever loses this, I'm going to write off as if they're already gone. The team that win it, I'm going to say have also gone. So it was a pointless statement to make. But I think Blackpool will at least think they've got a chance after winning it.
I don't know. I think Blackpool are gone. I think Blackpool Rovers are gone. I think I think they're both gone, to be perfectly honest. They're miles off it, miles off anybody else. So Sheffield will bottle it. I'm not sure what Sheffield FC are doing at the moment in their league, but anyway, 3-1 Wigan. Aaron's gone for. Let's move on to the next one. Everyone's had their say in a meaningless match, really, in my opinion, and your opinion as well. Let's move on to Ollie's favourite club, Millwall, and he hasn't gone for them to win. What's going on?
I haven't. Preston are on absolute fire, and I think we need to address this because they're absolutely motoring. They've only lost 1 in the last 11. They've won 3 in a row. Their 92nd minute winner at the weekend, or on Monday, cost me 3 points, and I'm not bitter about it. But they've timed their run at the perfect time. If they win this, they'll be above Millwall, and that'll really make a statement of them making the playoffs. I think they'll fancy it as well. Millwall haven't scored in their last 4 games, albeit that's 0 goals from, I think it's 68 shots. So just law of averages suggests that one's going to go in at some point. And I think it'll be this weekend. I think it'll be one of those games where Preston probably feel a little bit frustrated they've not been able to kick on and win it. But ultimately, a draw is not a bad result for either team.
No, I think you're right. These are actually your 2 favourite clubs, aren't they? Because you love talking about Preston for many different reasons. And obviously Millwall, you loved right at the start of the season. Wow, I'm just going to fly through them here. Johnny's gone for a 2-1, 3-3 for Lennon. Preston win, 5-0 Blackpool. This, I can't say your name. Sorry, mate. That's not in the English language. Has gone for a 5-0 Blackpool win. 2-1 Millwall, and Millwall haven't won the last 3 at home. There you go, James. There you go. I know they've had a bit of a sticky patch recently because they were fantastic at one point, really strong, scored loads of goals as well. So, yeah.
It's another one of them. Every team in the playoffs from 5th, I think it's from 5th to 10th, there's about 4 teams that haven't won in at least 5 games, if not more. It's insane. Nobody wants to finish 6th, it seems, this season.
No, similar to the bottom of the Premier League as well, because no one seems to want to win games of football there either. So, let's move on. Not talking about the Premier League because we are talking about Championship clubs. Queen's Park Rangers versus Coventry City, and Ollie's looking really confused.
It's because I've got a complaint about this one. Nothing to do with the game. Why has Mark Robins been nominated for Manager of the Year?
Oh, I thought you were going to say I've got your score wrong here.
No, you've got my score.
Mark Robins. Yeah, no. I don't know why either. No.
So at the start of the season, everyone said Coventry will probably finish somewhere around the playoffs, probably a little bit outside.
Yeah.
We've come to this point of the season where they possibly could finish in the playoffs, but are probably going to finish just a little bit outside. Not sure. I'm missing something. I mean, don't get me wrong. He's done very well to handle off-field issues, and they've recovered from a terrible start. But he was still the manager for the terrible start. I can't get my head around that decision making. There's so many other, like Rob Edwards isn't nominated.
No,
Luton
that's
a
crazy.
third. I just can't get my head around it. So
the only thing I can think of with Rob Edwards not getting it is because he's not been the Luton manager the whole season, and he did have I wouldn't even say a poor start for Watford because that's just where they are. So I don't know.
It don't matter, does it? At the end of the day, it is academic. Company's going to win it, and that's the right outcome. But I just can't get my head around what even the thought process was to that. But anyway, enough of that rant over. They're not in great form. 1 win in their last 6, but I back anybody against QPR. Said it last week, said it the week before. Anybody who's playing QPR, I'm just going to back you because QPR, even though they got a fairly creditable point against West Brom, they're just not very good. And they'll be very, very lucky if Reading's points deduction is what saves them because QPR are just going nowhere fast.
Yeah. James is also throwing in their Heckingbottom. Yeah, I think to a certain extent, yes. But yeah, we have got a lot of good players and we've brought in some good players as well. Yeah, it could have been thrown in there, but I can see why it wasn't because there's a lot of really good managers in this division. A lot of that are on a lot more limited budget than we are. But he's saying about Company being immediate. I think Company's done fantastically. I'm sorry, James. I don't mean to disagree with you so much.
No, I think in terms of Heckingbottom, I think he's probably delivered to expectations, slightly above expectations, and so certainly deserves to be mentioned and talked about in the conversation. I think John Eustace is probably hard done to. I think every single person I spoke to said that Birmingham would finish 24th. They're not even in danger of relegation at this point and are fairly comfortable in lower mid-table. That's a hell of a job given everything they've got going on as well. So that's another one. Recency bias is massive.
It's a massive thing. Yeah, it's a massive, massive thing. It really is. I think Johnny's having trouble. He's saying the stream's dead. It doesn't look dead to me. I think we're
just as we were bigging up Company as well. He'd love that.
Now, you said Company were the worst manager in the league. What are you on about? Anyway, let's move on. Let's talk about Reading Football Club against Burnley Football Club. Battle of the FCs.
Whoop, whoop.
You don't seem... What's wrong? What's wrong? Talk to me. What's wrong? Have you had a bad day?
I didn't fancy Battle... I have had a bad day, yeah, but I didn't fancy Battle of the FCs. Didn't do it for me. You know, it's cities, it's towns.
Yeah, but it's the first one we've had, so we've got to make do with what we've got.
Sorry, 1 second, Nick. Go again. Again.
Right, so we moved on from QPR against Coventry. Next up, we've got Reading Football Club versus Burnley Football Club. Battle of the FCs!
Yeah! Woo! Right, so I think in terms of looking at this game, Reading are bad, Burnley are good. Do you want me to continue or shall we leave it there?
No. I'm fine with that. With that. But what we could do is just run through what everybody said. Everybody's pretty much going for Burnley. 7-0. I'm sure Johnny's had 2 bankers. I'm sure he said Sheffield United banker and then he said Burnley banker. You can't have 2 bankers, Johnny. I'm sorry to inform you. Amelia's gone for a 4-0 Burnley win. Battle of the FCs. Johnny's on board. Why aren't you on board, Ollie? 1-0, 1-3. I don't like saying it like that, but 1-3. He swapped it. You can't do that. You can't do it. Just not allowed. Anyway, let's move on. Burnley are boring, aren't they? Burnley are boring. Rotherham United versus Luton Town. Too good. It's just way too good.
It's not fair, really, is it? When you're going to get 108 points, it's not really fair to everybody else.
Exactly.
And the Premier League team, Nick. We don't talk about Premier League.
And not just that, though. Like, couldn't they have given us a red card rather than us giving them a red card?
Yeah, just give us a chance. You know what I mean? It's only fair. Like, they should always have to start with 10. That's the only way to make it competitive. Come on.
Yeah, absolutely. I wonder if Vincent Kompany would have played centre-back for Burnley if he'd have been the best centre-back that Burnley would have had this season. I think he's got it in the locker still. I think
Yeah,
he's more than...
he's only 37. It's not like he's proper out of it and has been retired years. He's only 37, so I reckon he could still play.
It was literally... Were Man City his last club as well?
Yeah.
His final club. He could have absolutely walked into any championship team and done a very, very good job. Anyway, let's talk about Rotherham United versus Luton Town and stop talking about Vinny K. I've gone for a 1-1. You've gone for a 0-0. We both think that Luton are dropping points in this game. Rotherham are really good. And Rotherham pull out points from anywhere. No one expects them. And they seem to win games. They seem to draw games that they're expected to lose. Rotherham are just quite good. So what are you expecting from this, Ollie?
Yeah, it's hard to know because when I've written this prediction, I don't know if 0-0 is hope or expectation, but I think there is a case for the defence. So Rotherham are unbeaten in 3. They've only conceded 1 in their last 3. They're strong at home. They drew 0-0 with United. They've drawn 0-0 with Middlesbrough. They got a draw away at Luton. So that feels as though it's all pointing in one direction. Luton have drawn their last 2 away games. They've not scored more than 1 goal away from home since January. They're not goal machines. So all of that adds up to a prediction of a draw. But then you look at the other side and Luton are unbeaten in 9. They've only conceded 2 in 7. They've flown up the lead into automatic promotion contention. And they're probably going to turn up and do what they do and win 1-0. But for me, I like this Rotherham team. I think they can do us a favour.
Yeah, I agree. I think that can happen, obviously, from my score. I love that Johnny said it was Company's birthday on Monday as well. Like we didn't hear that 30,000 times on Sky. Wow, they really, really went ham on that birthday for Vincent Company, getting birthday cake and all. Get away, Company. Stop being so good. It's embarrassing. Yeah, there's quite a few Lutons. There's a 1-0 Rotherham here. I am all for that. But there are also a lot of draws, which we've gone for. So
yeah,
Rotherham or Rotherham. Maybe that's the Watford, innit? Rotherham or Rotherham.
Rotherham or Rotherham.
Rotherham. I can't even say that middle word. Rotherham. Can't even say it.
You can't say any of the words, to be honest, Nick.
Apparently I can't. Anyway, yeah, let's move on. Let's talk about Stoke City versus West Bromwich. We're not getting a battle of the cities. I'm pretty sure we're not getting a battle of the cities.
I don't think there is one.
I'm devastated.
I know. I should have gone harder on the battle of the FCs, Nick. I'm sorry.
Yep. I thought you were with me. Clearly not. No. Talk to me about Stoke City versus West Brom.
West Brom couldn't beat QPR, and therefore I am punishing them. that's where I stand.
Do you want to tell people why you've just said that?
Yeah, because I bankered them to beat QPR. I said, I think the exact quote was, anybody playing at home against QPR deserves a banker. And then West Brom didn't beat QPR. And I just don't think West Brom are a particularly good side at the minute. Somehow, these are another one of these teams. So they've barely won any games that I can remember in the last few weeks. And yet they're still not that far away from the playoffs. How? I don't know. Again, nobody wants it. But Stoke.
Well, you know why. You said it earlier on. No one wants to win around the playoffs.
Nobody wants it. God knows why. I mean, normally I feel like this time of season you're going, oh, everybody's trying to put a run together. This year, nobody is trying to put a run together.
But normally there are. Well, look at last season when there were us. There was Luton. There were who else were they? Borough, Millwall. Everyone were playing well. Everybody was playing well this season. It's not to be.
No, nobody fancies it. But Stoke are one of these teams that are just pure mid-table. I got really excited about them a few weeks ago. I think they beat Coventry 4-0. And I came on and I was like, oh, Stoke are going to be really good. What an exciting end to the season. Since then, 1 win in 5. So another team that are just sort of doing what they do in mid-table. Hard to get a read on them. But on their day, we know they can turn up and beat anyone. And I just don't think West Brom are particularly good at the minute.
No, they're really not. Now, moving on to Sunderland AFC versus Birmingham City. I'm sick of it not being Battle of the Cities. It's just what I look forward to in this video. Mm-hmm. Anyway, you've gone for a big game, 3-3. I don't know why you've gone for this, but I've gone for a pretty average 2-1 Sunderland win, just going to be just enough to win this game.
Yeah, to be honest, I've got no defence. I don't know why I've gone for this either, to be honest.
You must have an inkling why you've gone for 6 goals.
It just came to me in a dream. Sunderland are another one of these teams that I am sick of repeating myself. They're trying to go for the playoffs despite only having won 1 in 5. I feel like I've said that about 5 times already. But this could be an awful prediction. Birmingham tend to keep games really tight, go for 1 goal either way. But I think there's going to be an early goal. That's going to open the floodgates. I think at the Stadium of Light, Sunderland are just going to go after them. They're going to leave gaps at one end. They're going to try and exploit them at the other. Just going to be a fun game of Championship football.
It's just not though, is it? It's definitely finishing 0-0 this game.
Yeah,
Definitely.
almost certainly. But that's a point.
Yeah.
I'll take it.
Yeah, me too. Let me take off this comment because if I move on to the next one, you won't be able to see it. So, Swansea City versus Huddersfield Town. Huddersfield, at the moment, doing themselves justice. Wazza has got them all singing off the same hymn sheet. I did watch the Huddersfield Town versus Blackburn Rovers, or Blackpool Rovers, if you like.
Bristol Rovers.
It could be Bristol Rovers. It really could be. No, I thought that Huddersfield, I thought they defended really well, and I think they were value for that draw. But at the same time, I think Swansea are just going to have a bit too much for them.
Yeah, Swansea have turned a corner, to be fair. 3 wins in the last 4. The only draw was a really good performance against Coventry. So they certainly look like a good team at the minute. I think that's positive for them for next season, that maybe Russell Martin's got it in him to turn this into a really good team rather than a team who just are so inept going forwards. So that could be good to see. But I think Huddersfield actually having something to play for will make a difference in this game. I think they've really got to go out there and continue their momentum, keep trying to win games. And despite throwing away that 2-goal lead against Blackburn, I just think they've got a chance here of win this game and they're basically within a fingertip of confirming themselves in the Championship for next year. Yeah,
fair enough. And no one would have thought that earlier on before Warnock came in because they couldn't get any points on the board.
No.
Yeah, lots of people going for 3-0 Huddersfield for some reason. That's a 2-0 home win, but loads and loads of 3-0 Huddersfield. There's a 4-1 from Lennon too. Change your mind, 2-1. Fair enough. You're allowed to do that unless you're called Johnny. So let's move on to the next one, and it's Watford versus Bristol City. Let's just talk about it. The elephant in the room. Watford came out and said Chris Wilder's still got a job. You shouldn't have to do that. It's like Sheffield United coming out saying, just to let you know, Paul Heckingbottom will be the manager until the end of the season.
It's insane. Honestly, they're only club in country who could have a manager for, I think it's 6 games and have to come out and make a statement to say, we're not going to sack him yet. It's just utterly bizarre. I think it's very clear to everybody that Wilder's not lasting beyond the end of this season. He's going to get to the end of the season. Then they're going to bring somebody new in who's going to do everything for them for next season. And that's fine. That's the contract that Wilder signed. But the idea of having to put that statement out is just utterly insane. No other club in the country would have to do that.
No, it's bizarre. Like, yeah, there might be rumours flying around. I don't think they're just rumours, to be honest. I think that's definitely come from somewhere. But it just makes me laugh that they felt like they had to do that when they didn't. They didn't at all. Just let the rumours go. Like, if nothing else happens, the rumours will just dissolve. But I think this has actually added more to the rumours.
Yeah, if anything, it's made me even more certain that Wilder's A, definitely not going to be managing them beyond the summer, but B, I think he could get sacked. I think there's a chance he doesn't last to the end of the season. Like I think there's a bigger chance of him now getting sacked than there was before.
Yeah. I know what you mean.
I think this atmosphere, I think everyone's going to forget this game completely, and it's all going to be about the atmosphere, because I think the Watford fans are going to be in open revolt. I think it's going to be a game just full of protest, chants against the owners. I think it's going to be completely forgotten about on the pitch, and Bristol City will turn them over, because Bristol City are a good team who are capable of doing that. And I think this is all going to be about the story of Pozzo out, protests, fan unrest, all that kind of nonsense.
I think you could be right, but they have got really, really good players, as shown at the weekend. They obviously that João Pedro goal, that was such a fantastic goal from start to finish. That's what Watford can do to you if they're on form, and I still can't believe where they are in the division. But I also watched the Bristol City game at home to Middlesbrough for obvious reasons. Every time I went upstairs, because we were putting our son in the bath and stuff like that. Every time I went upstairs, I heard a big shout from obviously from Daniel Mano, whoever it was, and I was like, for God's sake, Middlesbrough, just stop scoring goals. But fortunately, they couldn't manage it, and Bristol City, I thought, deserved to win that game, to be honest.
Yeah, I agree. I think they deserve to win it. I think Bristol City had a really, really good Easter period as well. They had a good win on Friday night, another good result against Middlesbrough, a game that I agree they should have won. I think they're a good side, to be honest. I know we play a midweek, do we? After this one?
Tuesday.
And
yes, Tuesday.
It's not as comfortable as it was when I was looking at fixture list a couple of weeks ago. Let's look at it that way.
Yeah, exactly. But anyway, let's move on. Let's now talk about Blackburn Rovers. Finally, we've got there. Blackburn Rovers playing against Hull City. Now, Blackburn are good. Blackburn are very, very good when they want to be. So I'm going to expect them to win this game at home.
They're a team that are currently 6th, Nick. Do you want to guess what their record is in the league?
Oh, God, it's going to be terrible, isn't it? Well, I know it's not good.
1 win in 5.
No, come on. Somebody get into the play. At this point, I'm thinking Huddersfield could get into the playoffs because no one's winning.
They're the form team that are just coming up on a late run. I think it's just insane how that looks. I think the team that gets it is probably going to be Preston because I think the only team that have got any kind of run together is Preston. So I'm fairly confident they'll be the team that get that last spot in the playoffs. But at some point, I think Blackburn will get a win. You know, they've got to get themselves firing at some point.
Yeah.
And I'm just saying it's going to be this one because why not? That's the analysis for this one. I don't know. Let's say Blackburn are going to win. Don't
know. Let's crack on. But we can't crack on because this is the last game of the video. Blackburn 1, Hull 1, Wolfgang says 4-0, which could absolutely happen. It really could because when Blackburn turn it on, they are fantastic. 2-1 to Hull. Can't stand them. Blackburn 2-1. I think this is going to be a Blackburn win. It's got to be. 2-1 Hull, Johnny's gone for 2-1 Blackburn, 2-1 Hull. Lots of 2-1s here. They're all bloody 2-1s, aren't they? Anyway, I think we're just about done, mate. I'm happy to call that a day. Go on, Ollie.
What's your banker, Nick? We forgot so many weeks in a row. What's your banker?
Yeah, but I will say that in the last one, we forgot the banker, but we did message each other before and said what our banker was going to be. So let me have a think. I think I'm just going to go Blades. I think I'm going to go 2-0 Blades. I'm happy with that.
Do I? I've got a conundrum, Nick, because there's two obvious answers here. Do I stick to my guns, stand by the statement that everybody beats QPR?
Yeah, I already knew it. I already got it on the on the screen. I think
it's got to be everybody beats QPR, right?
Yes, I think you should definitely go for that because I don't think QPR are losing this game.
I know you don't, and that's what's put me off. I wondered whether or not I should just go Burnley. You know what I mean? If in doubt, go Burnley. I think that's boring. I'm going Coventry. They will beat QPR because QPR are terrible.
Love that. Anyway, before we go, Senegal 13. Illuminati on the back. This is going to be my Wembley shirt because did you know that Sheffield United are in the semi-finals of the FA Cup again?
That's next week, isn't it?
I don't know. It feels like if it is next week, it's come very, very quickly. Yeah. So, who is doing the preview, Ollie? Do you want to tell Lennon who's doing the preview?
I think it's me and you, the dream team.
Yeah, the boys. 2 videos in a row. That doesn't happen a lot these
weird,
days.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
That's what happened, though. Hal decided that this time out, he thought that traveling and seeing his family was more important. What's that about?
Exactly. Who's he think he is? He's getting above his station, isn't he? He was going to bring his laptop though, but he couldn't bring his microphone. So I'm like, just leave it at home, mate. I don't want Hal sounding like he's underwater or anything like that. So yeah, let's give him some time off. Let him enjoy speaking to his mum and dad.
Ooh, my mum and dad like speaking to me. Grow up.
Yeah, exactly. We love you, Hal. Anyway, let's leave it there. Thank you very much, everybody, for being here. As always, I absolutely love seeing the chat on fire, and it was on fire again. Thank you very much. Leave your comments in the comments of all the predictions that you predict, and we will see you very, very soon, i.e., tomorrow. Bye-bye.